in the comments, why are the streets so clean in China? And Russia, they mentioned. I can't speak for Russia. But I think I can answer some questions when it comes to why everything is so clean in the streets in China. I think I mentioned it before, but maybe it deserves to be talked about a little bit more in depth. Also, the lack of homeless people. I think I can answer some of that as well. Let's see, I saw some chat already in here. Let me see if I can get it to pop up here. Hey, there's Andy Foxy, glad to see you here. Mike Malone, both of you. Let's see, so the streets. Oh, but before I get into that, I do want to make some announcements. I am working on some videos. Some of you may have seen the little clips that I put together yesterday while I was in Kunming in the city center. That'll be fun once I get it actually put together. I'm still working on the Chengdu video, so I'm not sure when I'll have that up, but eventually I'll have some proper videos up showing some of the adventures through town, what it's like out here. It's kind of fun. Hopefully I'll get those put together. They're huge files, especially Chengdu. We spent 3 days there, went all over the place, visited the pandas, of course, which, by the way, if you ever go to visit the Panda Center in Chengdu, just be prepared for lines. Lots and lots of lines. But anyway, the streets in China, there's a little bit of litter here and there, but it doesn't seem to be nearly the same as what you would get if you were in the United States or elsewhere. And it's not because people don't throw garbage on the streets. I mean, I've watched Chinese people just roll the windows down and throw garbage out and wondered myself, where is all the litter? Of course, I know the answer. They have this army of old people that go around and just pick up garbage all day. I wonder if you can, well, I don't see any right now, but you'll see them here and there. By the way, I'm walking up to where the market is. If I were to come out here at night, there would be a night market out here. I'm going to walk through it. It's kind of permanently camped over here. I don't think any of it is open. There might be some fruit sellers or something in here, but yeah, that's why the streets are so clean. Because they have people that just go around and clean everything up all the time. Let's see. We have an Adopt a Highway here. I pick up 2 miles on Layfield Run. Yeah, I know they have that in the United States. These people, I think they get paid, actually. I think they're like retirees, and then they do this as a job. I don't know what exactly they get for it, but it's not volunteer. Well, I mean, it is volunteer because obviously they could quit if they wanted to, but I think they get compensated for it. It's probably just a way for them to get money. Sorry, I'm passing by a school, as it turns out. It's a little bit noisy. I didn't know they had well, I guess I should have known they had a school here. It's pretty loud. Having worked at a school in the past. Oh no, they've already noticed me. They're already calling it white woman. Calling me a foreigner. Of course I am. The joys of being in a different country. You know, if I travel in Europe, nobody really notices, obviously, but in Asia, they certainly do. Last night, I took my son to the playground where we live and got mobbed by a bunch of kids who thought I was a teacher or somehow their teacher. That was pretty wild. Here we are in this, what is normally the night market. Let's see, we don't get paid. Yeah, I know they, people in the U.S., they have steep fines affixed when it comes to littering in the United States. I don't think any such thing exists here. That's a low crossing. As you can see, there's a lot of food stands. They just kind of stay permanently parked here. At night, I'm going to have to come out here at night. I'll show you guys. It's pretty lively. Lots of stuff going on. Lots of food. Lots of people selling stuff. But yeah, they I don't think they have any fines for littering. I mean, I'm not joking. People just like roll the window down and throw wrappers out the window. I always kind of chuckle when I see my mother-in-law do it. my son finishes something and she just tosses it out the window. It's one of those things you kind of get used to seeing. I don't do it myself because, well, I guess I grew up not doing that. But yeah, they've got people that come and clean it up anyway. I mean, even in here, I'm walking around, there's not really a lot of garbage, which is surprising because of the amount of stuff like people eating and that sort of thing that goes on here at night. But again, they come through and clean it up. So, all clean. I was right, there's fruit vendors in here. I guess during the day you can still come get fresh vegetables and fruit. Watermelon and jackfruit. Ugh, that jackfruit. I don't know if any of you have had that jackfruit stuff before, but oh man, it's not good. At least I don't think so. You might think so, but for me, absolutely terrible. It's like if you combined body odor, onions, and bananas and mashed them all up into something horrible looking. That's jackfruit. But they love it here. They put it in everything, including ice cream and candy, cakes. The bread stuff, the cakes I can handle. But the other stuff, not so much. So, I've come to the end of the sidewalk here. Now I'm trying to figure out where I'm going to go. I guess I could go down this way. Oh man, I'm going to get run over. Oh! I walked out of the night market and it continues here. We'll just go back into this tent thing. Pretend we're in a circus. Yeah, again, at night, this place will be pretty active. I'm going to have to come back out. I wonder, do I still look like I'm limping on this thing? I always look like I'm limping even when I'm not. With these camera things. I don't know if it's the stabilization in the camera on the phone itself, or if it's something to do with this gimbal thing. It's not the same gimbal I use for filming. It's a little one that my wife bought, but it seems to work pretty good. By the way, if you're watching and you find this interesting at all, be sure to give it a like. Apparently that helps bring people into the live stream. And well, I mean, if you think that this is worth sharing at all. But yeah. Anyway, the streets in China are clean because there's an army of people. I don't know. A lot of it is recycling. They get extra money for recycling. I'm sure that they separate out all the plastic bottles and cardboard too, because they get extra for that. It's kind of sad sometimes. Yeah, I always look like I'm limping. I'm definitely not. But oh well, I'll take it. Yeah, help this poor disabled person here that's limping along by putting a like on this live stream. It'll help us so much. I'm not disabled. Maybe I am. I don't know. I'm a disabled person living here in China. Why go around? Let's see. Yesterday I was over in the city center. I haven't been there in like 13. I don't even know how many years ago. More than a decade, anyway. And I thought for sure it would be completely different, but it's not. I was pleasantly surprised that it still looks kind of the way that China used to look when I first came back in 2007, which was great. I really loved it back then, I guess for nostalgia purposes. I mean, there's the wind. Hopefully you guys can actually hear me. Everybody likes new stuff. I guess I kind of like the old myself. And it's not old as in ancient. I mean, there was plenty of that. If you follow me on Twitter, I've been posting pictures there of the journey, sometimes on Instagram, but more on Twitter than on Instagram as of late. I try to avoid everything else that's on Twitter because it'll just drive me crazy. The pictures are there, just the same. I mean, I posted a few in the channel posts or whatever you call it. Let's see, what do we got here? I see messages popping up, but as soon as I go to read them, they disappear. Let's see, well, think of our cities. The layout doesn't change, just the businesses and sometimes quality of people. Yeah, see, that's the difference with the Chinese cities. Hopefully you guys can hear me with this wind. They literally change. I don't know how they come up with the layout for their cities. It's pretty crazy. but they literally change. I mean, if you look up here behind me, let's see if I can angle this up a little. That wasn't, uh-oh, now we're going all over the place. Hang on. There we go. That's not how it used to be. This whole area would have been full of little neighborhoods with houses like what we would think of as a house in America. And they tore them all down and replaced them with these. So at one time there would have been little streets and stuff going through here. All of that is gone now. Of course out here, no, this definitely would have been like, oh my goodness. I've just stumbled upon something interesting. Let's see if I can get this to come back around so that you guys can actually see me. There we go. Across the street, there are a bunch of old trains. And in fact, an old steam engine, which for most of us in the United States, these things would be old history. I mean, very old. But if I'm not mistaken, in China, they were still using these things up until maybe the 1980s in some places. I think especially out here, going through the mountains. So that steam engine behind me may actually have been in service up through my lifetime. And yes, they know. Let's start walking back. Well, actually, I'm going to continue this way. I don't know where I'm going, but I am going. And I don't know what exactly is over there, but some kind of company. Who knows? It is China after all. Let's see, I saw some messages popped up. Let me see what we've got going here. See, crazy to think over there, technically they're not poverty rights like in America, so they can beat an old steam engine. Yeah, I know they, oh really, yeah, they've got some old, in the United States, is more of like a museum sort of thing, or something you can go and experience, a novelty. Here, that was the regular form of transportation, the only way to go. So, a little bit different than that. They wasn't being operated for the experience or for fun. It was just literally, that's what was going on. I think this just goes to a highway, so I'm going to head back before I get run over. But yeah, an interesting thing about China. You know, things have changed so fast here. And, you know, these big buildings are a good example of that. When I was in Fujian province, I saw entire neighborhoods being bulldozed to make room for this. It was interesting when they'd clear them out. They'd send an army of these guys in there to make sure everybody was out before they just started knocking the houses over. Beautiful houses, too. There's a lot of people that went to the United States in the 80s and 90s from there to work in restaurants that saved up enormous amounts of money. Some of them even, opening their own restaurants, getting rich, and they built these beautiful houses over there. It's kind of sad to see them tear it all down. But I guess these big buildings are the future. I mean, I know some of the reason. The currency, for example, in China is backed by the real estate market, housing. So I guess they have to keep building. I don't know. I'm not sure exactly how it works. Let's see. We'll see messages popping up. Let's see what we've got. But they handle lugging much different over there. People aren't just doing drugs on the streets normally. You don't want to, yeah, the drug thing. If you get caught with drugs, it's like a death sentence. I mean, not joking. That's literal. They don't mess around with it. So I'm sure that there are people that do that sort of thing, but not like in the United States, and definitely not on the street. Which brings me to the other topic, that the homelessness. You don't see a lot of homeless people. I've seen some when I was in Beijing or in Shanghai. I think even in Shenzhen, I'd see people with like a living space set up under a bridge, and you don't see that very much. I mean, I might see 1, 2 as I'm going along, but really you don't see it. And there's a good reason for that. It's because people just go back home. I mean, family is a little bit different out here than it is in the West. You always have your home. You can always go back. So, yeah, they just go back home if things don't work out. The people that I would see that were homeless in Beijing or some of those places, I think they were people that just didn't want to admit defeat. There's very, very few of them. In the United States, I don't know what it is. I think I see all the homeless people, and I think, don't these people have somebody that cares about them, that wouldn't want them to be out on the street? I mean, don't they have somewhere they could go, someone they could go to? I know a lot of people say, well, they probably burned all their bridges and all of that, but it just doesn't happen here. I mean, you'd never turn your back on your family member. So I think that's why you don't see all the homeless people. Again, the person that had mentioned Russia. I can't speak for Russia. I have no idea. I don't know if they have homeless people. I don't know if they have litter in the streets. But here in China, anyway, that's the reason why. Let's see. Oh, I see the comments coming up. Let's take a look. Oh, there they go. Let's see. Westchester Township, Ohio, fence to keep people in. Let's see. China takes care of their elderly at home. No nursing home. Monopoly over there. Very family-centric. Yeah, they wouldn't want to put... I mean, that would almost be a shameful thing to put your family members into a nursing home. I guess the way that they look at it, they take care of you when you're growing up. They make sure you get your education or whatever it is you need. And then when they get old and they can't take care of themselves, then it's your duty to take care of them. And, you know, for them, family is not just like the immediate family. Parents, children. Household will include the grandparents. It'll include everybody. Several generations. And they all have their part to play in the whole dynamic of things. A lot of times the parents will go off to other cities to work, to make money. And wow, there's razor. I guess they really don't want people getting into that playground or whatever it is. Oh, that's right, the school. They're very protective of kids here, by the way. But yeah, everybody has their part to play. The parents work to make money. The grandparents take care of the kids to make sure they get their education properly, and so on and so on. It all, everybody their part. It's really one of the things that I have liked about here. Let's see, barbed wire cameras and loads of unkept landscape. Yeah, that unkept landscape will be turned into something at some point. That's probably not going to last very long. I mean, assuming that everything keeps rolling along as it's been. Ooh, low ceiling here. Never change, or I'm sorry, things never stay the same here for very long. China's always changing. I'm always shocked by places I go. That's why I was so going to the city center in Kunming to see a lot of the same stuff from years and years ago. But is it just the same? I'm gonna have to go back. I'm gonna go back and do a live stream over there. I mean, I just go over to the metro station and I don't even have to change trains. Go right into the city center. Show you guys some interesting stuff. Other than this night market where I keep having to don't hit my head. My wife and mother-in-law were out here earlier. I don't know where they bought all the groceries they came back with. Let's see. Americans could take note of China, protect the kids. Oh, it's a school with the razor wire. I don't want to... Yeah, they don't want any crazies getting in there. And yes, when it comes to school, so you're probably much taller than the average. You know, especially here, you'd be surprised. One of the things I noticed the first time I came to China was that, you know, in the West we'll have, I don't know what this alarm is, but that's loud. In the West, I'll wait till I get past this alarm. Somebody must have bumped somebody's e-bike or something. So as I was saying, in the West, we seem to have quite a diversity of how we look, eye color, hair color, that sort of thing. Well, in China, they have a very wide diversity when it comes to height. Yes, they have a lot of different heights. So you'll see people that are really tall and people that are really short and everything in between. But here in this region, everybody seems to be short. I don't know how else to describe it. My wife told me people in the South and people in this particular area are known for being short. I don't know. Anyway, I find myself ducking quite often. Like these trees over here. You see, these trees are actually pretty well kept. They don't let the branch. They have clearance, I guess, for people here, but I can't walk under the trees. I hit my head every single time the leaves start hitting me. We're by this school again. School with the razor wire. They didn't have razor wire at any of the schools that I worked at, that I'm aware of. They did have heavy security though. I worked at a school in Beijing, an international school at one point. It was interesting. Yeah, nobody's got guns. That's another thing. I saw these guys, these guards. I don't know what kind of school it was, but they had like helmets and bulletproof vests. I'm like, whose kids are going to this school that they think they need that? I mean, the only time I've ever seen a gun in China was when I was traveling, actually here in this province, over a decade ago. I was going to a place that's it's actually right on the border. It's called Ruli. It's right on the border with Burma, and they stopped the bus, I guess, to check for drug smuggling. But yeah, they had a machine gun. They had some soldier up there with a machine gun. Not on the bus, but see, I went to Xi'an and loved it, but the public toilets were not, public toilets in China, they've improved. They at least have toilet paper now. That was something that it used to be. If you wanted to go to the bathroom, the public bathroom anywhere, I mean, if you went out and you were going to be out all day, it's probably still a good idea, but you had to carry toilet paper. Otherwise, you might find yourself in a bad spot. But that's improved. They try to keep them clean. They still smell terrible. And you might not be used to the kind of toilet they use. For those of you in the West, I could describe it. It's like a sink in the floor. It's a squat toilet. That's probably hard for Westerners if you're traveling in China and you encounter that. But they usually have both. And it'll have a little picture on the stall to tell you, okay, this one's, a Western style toilet, and this one's a squat toilet. So you can, avoid the squat toilet if you so wish. I guess there are people that prefer it. Yes, if you have been to other parts of the world, you'll kind of get used to that. They have them in other places in Asia as well. In Japan, some of the older generations prefer them. So I'm trying to duck under these trees here. Oh, well, the sun's coming out. A little gap in the clouds. Yeah, I've got a lot of stuff to work on for videos of places that I have visited here in China, especially Chengdu, like I mentioned. It's just so big at the video. I might have to cut it into multiple parts. Or I'll just make a really, really long video and find some way to keep it entertaining enough. I don't know. See, I didn't think people could get guns in France until I saw people with... So, yeah, people do. I'm sure that there are people that manufacture their own. But having anything like that would be a serious, serious crime here. So I don't know. I've seen tasers. I've seen that before. Let me see. I see messages more popping up here. If I can get it to show up. Let's see. I laughed in Thailand going to a Western toilet and there were Yes. Yes. That reminds me. When I went to Japan, I went to... In the airport, they had the restroom and they had signs in multiple languages explaining that you are not supposed to stand on the toilets. I thought that was pretty funny. But yeah, if you do see footprints on a toilet, then you'll know why. It's not because somebody was just trying to climb up somewhere. It's most likely someone who is not used to that kind of toilet. To them, that's a strange thing. You know, for us, we would see that and you'd be like, okay, never mind, I'll just wait. I don't know what that is. But for them, they see the Western style toilet and they probably think, what in the world is that? How am I supposed to use that? Why do they build a toilet that you have to climb up on? That's weird. That's probably their exact thoughts. Not everybody here in China, I mean, they're probably used to seeing the Western toilets, but people in other parts of the world where they've not experienced that. Where was it? I want to say, it was in Europe. They had a different kind of sign on the toilets in there, the public toilet, that you're not supposed to drink the water out of the toilet. I thought that was amusing. That somebody might go in there and say, oh, well, this is a convenient little water sink thing. Fill up my cup. Yeah, don't drink the water out of the toilets. Probably not a good idea. In China, of course, you can't really drink the water out of anything. But you know, let's see. Yeah, it's all kind of toilet stuff. I've got to wait. I can't cross the street. I'm gonna get run over. I'm back where they had that sewing machine museum from yesterday, and of course, home over there, somewhere in that giant complex. Let's see, do they have elevator in these high rises? My brother lived on the 3rd floor and said the area he lived in yes, they definitely have elevators. I've been in some where they did not have elevators, and I can't imagine anyone wanting to live on any of the upper floors. But these high rises always have them. I don't think they'd put that in anything that was over like 5 floors or something like that. I'm about to get run over here. Danger of walking in China in the streets. But yeah, they definitely have elevators. I don't know what I would do without them. I'm on the 11th floor, so that would not be a fun walk. When I was in other places, it was like the 27th floor. There's no way I'd want to walk up that high. It's bad enough. I mean, I've got stairs in our house here to walk up to where the bedrooms are. That's bad enough. I don't need to be walking up 11 floors. Well, I mean, unless I want to be healthier, I guess. But I don't know if my desire for healthy living is good enough to go up 11 flights of stairs. I'll just stick to the elevator for now. I probably should do more for my health. I got so fat living in America so fast. It's kind of shocking. And I think that Chinese family members, they can't let it go. They just have to keep mentioning that I need to be healthier and thinner. They love to do that, but you know. I think we've got about a minute, and then I'm going to have to cut this off. I've got to get back and get to work on some of this video stuff. I've got 2 big videos for this channel that I need to put together, and then I also got multiple videos that I have to put together for my wife's channel. Let's see, we've got some more comments. The urinals in Amsterdam are out in the open. Yeah, I noticed that in some places in Europe, the bathrooms are just, you know, like everybody goes in. I don't know. That was a strange one for me. Urinals out in the open, they do have a lot in Europe as well, where they'll like have this big round thing on the sidewalk, and you push a button or put a coin in and it opens up and it's a urinal. I guess it's to try and combat drunk people peeing all over the buildings, is my understanding. They don't have any such thing in China. I think that in many cases, well, yeah, people just go up to a bush if they're really desperate. There's no reason to do that because there's public restrooms all over the place. Let me see. I saw another comment come up there. Let's see if we can get it to pop up. Sometimes at night when I let the dogs out, I just go pee outside too. Yeah, and that's something that people do if they're desperate in this place. And apparently in Europe, that was one of the things that shocked me when I was over in France. I mean, there was a bathroom at the rest area, and I stopped there. And I think I took this out of the video because I didn't want it to sound like I was complaining about stuff, but it was really weird. There's an unoccupied, perfectly clean restroom. It's got the signs that are, as far as I thought, were universally understood. And, well, people were just going to the bathroom right out in the grass, not even in a bush, just literally right outside where anybody could see them. And terrible. There's this French family trying to have a picnic at the picnic table, and then there are these people just hanging their kid like in the air so they can go to the bathroom in the grass by the picnic table. And I thought, this must be terrible to see your country go this way. But they just seem to be marching right on in that direction. So what can I say? It's not my country, I guess. But can you imagine that? Yeah, it's weird. It was weird. And it was, like I said, I just walked right into the bathroom, totally unoccupied, perfectly clean, very clean. And yet they were just outside using the bathroom. I guess they thought that was a better, maybe, I don't know. Maybe in whatever culture you're from, that's like the better way to go. I don't know. But I at least would probably go away from the family trying to have a picnic, you know. That doesn't seem like the best place to have your kid use the bathroom. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and end it here. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. I will try to be live tomorrow at the same time, 10 o'clock, maybe in a more interesting location. We'll see. Let's see, do they still have the chain restaurants? I was surprised. My brother said McDonald's was... Yes, McDonald's is here, Pizza Hut is here. KFC especially, that's the most popular one. They're not that much. I mean, if you like look at the cost of, I mean, if you're comparing it to eating Chinese fast food or like noodles or something, it's much more expensive. But when you actually do the calculation and the exchange, it's basically the same as if you were in the United States. So in that, I guess for locals, that's more expensive. You can get better food for a better price here. So yeah. They've got it. Anyway, I better end it here. We'll see you guys in the next one. However we go about ending this thing. We'll see you in the next one.